What's up, guys? In the Vol Worlds here, and this jacket is my new gimmick. What you guys think? Let me know below. Anyways, moving on with the video. As some of you know, I like manga. I like several mangas, but two in particular are my favorite, and they're coming to an end soon. Bleach and One Piece. In this video, I'm going to talk about Bleach because it's coming to an end within the year, probably. I don't see it lasting more than the rest of this year. And before I talk about that, I'm going to get a drink of water. Water. Anyways, in this video, I'd like to discuss 5 things that I would like to see answered or explained a little bit better before the Bleach series ends. Number 5, the Gillian. I'm sorry for mispronunciation. You're going to hear that a lot in this video because I suck at pronunciation. Anyways, I want to see what happened to the Gillian that Ichigo severely injured before the Soul Society arc in Bleach. Now, this Gillian came to the world of the living when Uryu threw his hollow bait into the air and summoned all those hollows so him and Ichigo can have their Quincy versus Shinigami foreshadowing, by the way. A little bit of foreshadowing there. Their Shinigami versus Quincy, who can kill the most hollows, and then the Gillian came down, and that was unexpected. I mean, what happened to that one? Did he die? Did it die? Did it become an Arankar? It'd just be interesting to see what happened to that Gillian, because, I don't know, shit like that interests me. What else? Number 4. I would like to know a little bit more about what the Quincy's have been doing, or a little bit more about the Quincy's in general. We know that they are weak against hollow powers. They're like the opposite of Shinigami. But other than that, we don't really know a whole lot about them. Why do they hate the Shinigami? Now, we know that the Quincy's are around due to their hatred of the hollows, because hollows kill humans. They kill things. That's what they do. They seek out souls. So Quincy Powers, I may be wrong about this explanation, but this is what I understand of them. Their powers are born from humans with special hatred, I guess, for hollows, and then it's ran through the blood of Juhubak. Again, I'm probably mispronouncing that, even though it's been pronounced to me several times. That certain humans that hate hollows so much are born with the blood of Juhubak running through their veins, and that gives them their Quincy powers, which they train for. I'm assuming since they can walk, till they master those powers. And then that's about all we know about them. That's the basics of them. And then we know 1,000 years ago, they could not come to terms with Shinigami, because the Shinigami wanted them, they were like, hey, slow down on killing hollows, you're disrupting the balance. And, they could not come to terms for some reason, and Juhubak wanted to go to war with Soul Society. And then that's an undetermined amount of time, by the way, in a flashback with Basby and Jugram Hashwald. As in a flashback with them, we see Juhubak saying he wants to go to war with Soul Society. So at some point, the Quincy and the Shinigami have, some problems with each other, and it's probably the way they deal with hollows. But really, then we know Jubak was killed by Yamamoto 1,000 years ago, and then he was prophesied to come back. Like, I think it was, his body will return 900 years later, or something like that, and his blood 9 years, and then in 7 days or 9 days, he'll take over the world, or something like that. It's in like a song, like a church song, I guess the Quincy sing to each other. But other than that, we really don't know a whole lot about them, and they're the main enemies. It'd be nice to find out a little bit of something about them. Number 3, I would like to know more about the original Gotia 13 captains. We know that Yamamoto was one of them, and Unohana was one of them, and that's about it. Again, that kind of ties in with the 1,000 War Blood, the 1,000-year-ago war. And I would like to know a little bit more about them, because they're said to be ruthless. Jubak described them as just criminals. They weren't an organization. So it'd be nice to know a little bit about them. In number 3, what is... Yeah, number 2, Yukitake's Bankai. Now, Yukitake had a Bankai, I'm sure. I mean, he's a captain. So, of course, all captains up to now have a Bankai of sorts. While we're on the subject of Yukitake's Bankai, I'd like to see Shinji's Bankai too. Those two Bankais would be interesting, and Shinji's is actually a lot more likely than Yukitake, with Yukitake being incapacitated at the moment, if not dead. I think he died when Minahage came out of him. I'd like to see one of those two Bankais, if not both of them. And let's see, will be number 1. I don't really have 5 things. I'm gonna have more like 4 things. I guess number 1 would be more about Shaz Domino. That'd be number 1. I'm a little bit curious about that guy. And of course, we did have a little bit about him in the 13 Blades book, which I believe is a fan-made book. But Shaz Domino's a pretty interesting guy. I wonder what happened to him. Like, I guess that ties in a little bit with the Quincys. I mean, not just Shaz Domino, but I suppose my number 1 would be, like, Shaz Domino. I want to know a little bit more about him. Just the Sternriders in general. And I guess this number 1's kind of a cheat. But just, the Sternrider are an interesting group. They just need backstories. Like, how did they come to be? What about the old Sternrider? Like, there was an original Sternrider before this one. Kind of like the Gotia. So, I'm kind of curious about that, and it'd be nice to know these things before the end of the series. I'm going to change my number 1 to, a little bit more about this original Sternrider. And since I don't have editing software, this is all raw. So, so that's my 5 things I'd like to know a little bit more about Bleach before the end of the series. Or if not before the end of the series, like, make a sub-series about it. Anyways, this has been End of All Worlds here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and if you didn't like it, even if you didn't like it, comment. Call me mean names in the comments if you didn't like it. I don't care. I will see you on Thursday with End of All Wrestling. I'll also see you on Friday with End of All Gaming. End of Gaming, not End of All. And End of Wrestling, not End of All. Fucked up my own titles. Anyways, I will see you all later, and goodbye.